slide of injured players. We'll double back on Philly in just a second, but the big thing that happened was Karl Anthony Towns torn meniscus out indefinitely. All right, so there is some hopes that Minnesota they make a long playoff run. Maybe he's able to come back, but again, we're talking about a big man with injury. So I want to ask y'all, Minnesota, of course, we got to look at the standings for this as well. They are or were at the top of the West. Right now, they're sitting at the 2 spot, a half game back. What does this mean for Minnesota as a team and their playoff chances?
It means they're done.
Yeah, it's not good.
I think they're done, dude. I think I honestly he's not coming back. It's too late in the season for him to come back from this injury.
Yeah.
Without Cat, I don't think they
can.
True, dude. I think they might have to face the Mavs first round, and the Mavs, I think, are a better team.
Handle them
without what's his name, Cat on the Wolves. They're better.
Number one, we don't know if he's out for the season. He's out for the regular season, probably.
Yes.
We don't know if he's out for the postseason.
Right. Postseason starts right after. What does that even mean?
Not anymore. There's like a little bit of a break, I think, now. I'm serious. There's more of a break than it used to be.
Like what, 4 days?
You gotta play the play-in.
Yeah, it might be because of the play-in. But I'm trying to see.
I mean, we're talking about like a couple days, honestly. I mean, we're not talking about
the break is longer. The break is longer than it usually is. Or the playoffs start later than they usually do. Like actually.
That's fair. But I think this injury is too late in the year. Like he might come back if they win the first round, but I think they need him first round in the West. Like the West is deep and tough, and I think he's half their offense.
The playoffs. Yeah,
this is where we'll see. This is where we'll see what Ant-Man's really made of.
Bro, honestly. the regular season doesn't end until April 14th. Then the play-in starts on the 16th of April. The playoffs don't start until the 20th.
Okay. Dude, he is a
little over a month until the playoffs start.
He's over the month until his first game will be played.
He has like a 6 to 7 week injury, dude. Like he's not coming back in time.
That would be what? Would that not be 6 weeks?
Probably not.
5.
Dude.
It'd be it'd be
5
very close. Like we're saying, I mean, we're hoping, and he has to be reevaluated in like 4 weeks, but we're hoping that he could come back in a second round of the playoffs. That would probably be the most reasonable with this injury.
I mean, okay, if he's out for the first round, yeah, they're going to get bounced out. Yeah. Like, what are they, first? They're first right now? Or second?
They're second, half game back from the Thunder.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to play, like, all the play-in teams are smoked out. So, like, they have to play who? The Warriors, Lakers.
The Warriors,
Kings,
Lakers.
And the Mavs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They'll lose to all those teams, except for maybe the Kings. I think, yeah, the Kings may beat them.
Kings would beat them.
I mean, the Kings may lose to them. But, yeah, they're probably done if Cat can't play the first round.
I think, let's talk about this Minnesota team just for a second. We saw it last night a lot. I don't know if you guys watched that game. They played an overtime matchup against Darius Garland and the Donovan Mitchell-less, Evan Mobley-less Cavaliers. Again, winning the overtime. Ant-Man didn't have a great game, coming off a back-to-back. He had a big night against the Pacers. We saw how they struggled to score. Naz Reid really stepped up. I mean, he had a big-time game for the Timberwolves, but ultimately that wasn't really enough without Ant-Man being I guess you could say he wasn't playing at a superstar level that particular night. This is going to put, I mean, definitely not at the end. I mean, I think he was scoreless in the fourth and in OT, if I'm not mistaken.
He was. Yeah, he was.
It's going to be very difficult for them to score the basketball. But the defense is actually, I mean, they have like the top defense in the league. It's going to be even without Karl Anthony Towns playing big minutes. I mean, he's not the best defender in the world. They're going to strap up. They're definitely gonna strap in. So it's just like they get into a grinded out series with these teams, and Ant-Man comes to play. They definitely have a chance. I mean, they most certainly have a chance. If we think about, if we think about Ant-Man last year in the playoffs, I mean, dude was averaging like 30 points or more, I believe, in a series against the Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just like, do they have a chance? Most certainly. I think it just comes down to the matchup. We talk about the Kings. I mean, they're a smaller team. I think you get into a grinded out series if you can hold De'Aaron Fox, a little bit. They have the defenders, a lot of length to do it. He has to meet Rudy Gobert in the middle. They could beat. Like when we start talking about the greatness. The Kings, I think they have a great shot, but we start talking about Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. I don't think they're going to be able to overcome Luka in the series. Obviously, I'm a Lakers fan. We're going to take their youth and use it against them. Warriors. Hey man, look,
don't do it, bro.
Well, you look at your screen really quick. Steph Curry, ankle injury, had to leave the game. Okay, I'm sure he'll be recovered and ready to play come playoff time. But what if he has to ramp up? What if he's not like himself? What if they're a bit fatigued through that playing? I'm just saying they haven't been a good team. They haven't been a good team. Like
they've been a good team recently. Recently, they have been.
I mean, okay, like
they've been very good. Very good recently.
I guess, but at the end
of
the day,
not even you guess, like factually,
they have a shot. They've been okay.
No, they've been good.
They've
been good.
We're splitting hairs at this point. They've been all right.
Everyone but the Celtics.
Can I speak?
No.
Can I finish my point?
You have to speak some truth.
What's up with you?
Some truth.
Let's be for real. All right, good, whatever. Like they've been an all right team. Like it just is what it is. Now, what I'm saying is they have one guy. If you can keep Curry under 30, things can be in jeopardy.
Why would they keep Curry under 30?
They play great defense. This is the top defense in the league.
Teams have played good defense on Curry before. Why would they keep him under 30?
I'm saying it's possible. Do they have a chance? Absolutely. Absolutely.
But like, you got to think, like, those guys just have so much experience in the Warriors. Like, almost all of those guys have done it before. Like, pretty much everyone is going to be playing except for, like, Podziemski.
That's my same argument that I made for my Lakers. The difference is we have an AD. All right.
Well, they have.
That's all I'm saying.
They have good players, at least. Like
they do.
They have a rounded out roster.
They do, but they're not big. All right. So if they get into a grinded out series in the trenches, it could be tough. It can be. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying the Warriors. I don't think the Warriors would like sweep them, but I do think it would be tough to contain Steph Curry throughout a series, like throughout a 7-game series.
Of course it is.
Like that's tough to bet on.
I mean, of course it is. But do they have a chance? I believe so. From what I've seen from this team all year, that's what I think. Hey, that's my take. Ooh, excuse me. But we could talk about the Warriors really quick. All right. I got to go standings again. So we just overtook them, my Los Angeles Lakers. All right. So we're a half game ahead of them. They're in the 10th spot currently right now. I don't think they're really in jeopardy of falling out of the play-in. I mean, the next best team is, I guess, the Rockets. And they're, 5.5 games back from them. So, I mean, it's doable, but, I mean, it would be very difficult for that. So I don't really think that's going to happen. I want to look at the Warriors' schedule as we get into this because, like I said, Curry, he's going to miss at least a few games, all right, coming up. But I believe they have one of the easier schedules.
The Mavericks, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Grizzlies, the Pacers, the T-Wolves, the Heat.
So, again, pretty sweet. You know, I guess when we start talking about Dallas Lakers, maybe the Knicks can, but that's in the Chase Center. So
I feel bad for the Knicks, honestly.
the Knicks.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Like they just got so banged up this year. They were good. Like they had a good roster.
It's their coach's fault.
Let me get into the Knicks. I want to start with the Warriors while we're on this subject though. I'll go there next. But this injury to Curry, does that concern y'all in the slightest moving forward?
Ankle injury?
Team?
No.
Ankle injury.
I mean, I feel like it has to concern you knowing Curry's injury history, like with the ankles. Like, he has 2 terrible ankles. So, like, yeah, anytime Curry's ankles get banged up, like, I would say it's at least a cause for concern, but I don't.
But he just does
saw
it often at this point.
I mean, yeah, I saw the injury. Like, he was able to walk off. Like, I don't know.
Barely.
Yeah, I mean, he hobbled off. But, like, I feel like he'll be okay in a week. Like, at least to, like, practice.
No, I think it's definitely cause for concern. Like this late in the year, like I know there's a lot of games left. Like he probably come back sometime in the regular season. But
I mean, and yeah, they're jockeying for position too. So
yeah, and they need to get higher in the seeding too. Like these games do matter. I feel like so they're definitely gonna miss him.
Listen, I know how we all feel about Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. So let me preface this by saying I'm not counting them out. All right. But this is a team that I do not believe wants to be in the play-in. They're only 3 spots out from being in the actual playoffs. Okay. It's very, very tight in the West that way. Playing Dallas, the Kings again, who will want that smoke. All right. The Lakers. Are there really any matchups there in that play-in? They have to win 2 games if they're going to be 10th. All right. Is there really 2 favorable matchups in the play-in for the Warriors?
Not
I
really.
wouldn't say. Go ahead.
Single elimination.
I wouldn't say it's favorable, but like they have a shot.
They always have a shot, regardless of who it is.
Like I feel like most of those games are toss-ups. Like I don't know who I would favor in any of those games, honestly. Like if we match up with the Kings, that's not good for the Lakers. Like if we saw the Warriors, like yeah, I think that would be a good matchup for us because like just size-wise. But like
y'all would lose.
the Mavericks, I don't know. The Mavericks, I don't know. Like that would be a good game. It's one game. One game.
Who's stopping him?
Huh?
Who's stopping him?
Who was
It's
him?
gonna be a shootout.
The Great White. Who's stopping him? Who's gonna guard?
Guard Luka?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I was talking about the Lakers now. I was saying like for anyone in the whole play, and I don't know if there's like super favorable matchups in a 1-game scenario.
I disagree with the sentiment. Not everyone. You know what I mean? I wouldn't
I'm
say
saying
everyone.
the teams who are currently in it. Like, yeah, as a Lakers fan, I don't want to see the Kings. They beat us.
Okay. I mean, and that's only because of this Sabonis, Anthony Davis nonsense that exists in the world for whatever reason. Like, I can get that. But we start talking about, again, I believe the standings are what they are for a reason at this very moment in time. Yes, it is fluid. But I think the Golden State Warriors have the worst team, have the most matchup issues out of anybody, in my opinion. I mean, man.
Yeah. They also have the worst injuries this year, like out of all those teams. Like
Who?
the Lakers have been the Warriors. Like I'm talking to their best players. Like the Lakers have been pretty healthy to our best players. The Kings have been pretty healthy. Why are you looking like that? And the Mavericks have been pretty healthy. The Warriors have not been healthy. Like number one, Draymond was out for like, was he out 20 games?
Bro said injuries, not nonsense, not drama,
I mean,
not suspension. Like,
Bro,
what are we
that's
talking
I'm
about?
I'm talking
He
about.
did that. Like,
Bro, I'm not talking like straight up like you're hurt. I'm saying you're not playing.
Anywho, my take stands. I still believe that's the team that's gonna have the most troubling matchups out of anybody. That's just how I feel about it. That's why I'm like, for the Warriors, this is trouble. This is very troubling. And to your sentiment as well, Curry has ankle issues. Like, this is a known thing. Late in the year, fatigue starts setting in. We're talking about he might be out a week. We better hope Wemby's not playing. We better hope Wemby's not playing.
He's not playing, I don't think.
We better not. That's all I'm saying. Who's hard though? Because we gonna spend a lot of time here. Jalen Brunson's back though, Julian. Little knee injury. I think he was out a couple games at best, but obviously we're still missing OG. We're still missing Randall. Don't ask me when they come back because I'm not really sure. Knicks right in the middle of the pack. Any cause for concern for them, like moving forward?
Definitely. If they don't get to play together, I feel like that's going to be tough to win the series. And we don't know who they're going to match up with. If they finish in the top 3 in the East, then but I don't think they will. So if you got to go see who the Heat, if you have to see the Heat first round, they're going to get bounced out. They're going to get bounced out. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that, dude. I think their defense is good enough to hold them down. But, dude, let's be real for a minute. If they're fully healthy by the time they get there, they have all the pieces to compete with a lot of teams in the East. Do they not?
They have the pieces to beat the bottom teams in the East. I agree. Okay, I'm talking about the top teams in the East, and that's why it's cause for concern.
They're not going to
we have the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Cavs, who are probably going to be top 3 in the East. That's probably how it's going to finish. So that means you're going to have to go see probably I don't know where it stands right now. It's probably going to be a team like the Heat in the first round, that's rough. If you're in that 4 or 5 spot, that's not good.
They're better than the Heat, though. We have to realize that. What's so confusing?
In the playoffs?
Stop saying the playoffs. This is this Knicks team right now wasn't in the playoffs last year. This is true. They're better than they were last year.
That's true for every team in the league.
Okay, so what are you talking about? Some playoffs? Are they better in the playoffs? We haven't seen it yet.
But I think
what are you confused about?
We're gonna act like we don't we can't project what happens. That's
how many games did it go last year? 6?
I don't know. They got
went 6. And I'm not even gonna hold you. I mean, Jimmy Butler rolled his ankle in the series as well. So it's just Jacob, you got anything about the Knicks real quick?
No, I never had any expectations for them. So
okay. I think Julian had a great take because it was my take. We're talking about a team that simply just hasn't really played together that much. I mean, they haven't. I mean, it looked good when they had OG in there for a spell, you know what I mean? But you got to develop those reps. You got to have that type of chemistry on the floor, especially when it comes playoff time. And if we do talk about a team like the Heat, that's a team that exploits you. I mean, they will find your weakness and exploit it. And the Heat, they've been playing solid basketball. I think they had a tough road trip. I think they lost to the Mavs and the Thunder, but they look good. I mean, they definitely look good. So I
imagine
Jimmy Butler.
And exactly. You have to see Jimmy and Spoelstra in the first round after not playing together all season.
That's thorough.
Randall, I don't think Randall and them have even played together. Randall, OG, and Brunson, have they played a game together?
I don't think so. Not all 3.
That's what I'm saying. That's not working. That's not going to work. If your 3 best players haven't played together, how do you expect them to gel versus a team who is built for the playoffs like the Heat? And they're gelling right now.
I'd say 4. I mean, I think Mitchell Robinson still has to come back as well.
Yeah, he's out too. I forgot about him. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I think these players, it's pretty easy to mesh well.
No, it's not. Stop that.
OG is a corner 3 player who plays very good defense. That's not – you don't need to really – that's true. You don't really need chemistry for that. He's a corner 3 player. That's true. And then on defense, you do you really need reps all season?
Yes, of course you need reps. What are you talking about? Especially on defense.
Bro, what are you talking defense about? Communication, absolutely. You most certainly do.
I don't think so. And they're going to add Mitchell Robinson back. Like that's a.
What are you talking about? Of course, that's where you need rest the most. Like where you're going to be communicating. Like, have you not seen teams try to play defense where they have no communication? They look like complete idiots.
That's true, but that's not. Most defenses aren't as talented as this defense right here. That's true.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
This is one of the best. This is probably top 3 defense in the league when they're all healthy.
They're going to be playing versus a great defense too, probably.
And that playoffs is just a different game. I'm sorry. Last thing I want to get into on this slide, because we really got to keep it moving. I did want to mention, of course, Ian and his 76ers, Tyrese Maxey, couple games back, suffered a concussion. So they're out. They're down with their 2 quote unquote stars, of course, catapulting them deep into the play-in. 13 and a half games back. The Pacers are right on their tail, 14 games back. I was just mentioning before we got on the show. You look at the Hawks. You look at the Hawks. We're only 6 games back from the likes of the Sixers. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's a possibility the Sixers don't make the playoffs. No, listen to me though. It's a possibility the Sixers don't make the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. It's not set in stone. They may not even make the play-in.
I don't think Joel's going to let that happen. I think he would rush back before we miss the playoffs.
Really rush back.
You shouldn't want that. You really should not want that.
I don't want that, but I think Tyrese Maxey will be back after his concussion and help us win some games. I don't think we need to go undefeated the rest of the way. I think we go 500 and get Joel back. We'll be straight in the play-in. Maybe
your goal should be like near 500. Like you should want to shoot for like a little bit under 500 to be realistic.
3-7 in the last 10.
Y'all are bad.
I said that. I said like
taking losses.
You should be shooting for 500 though. Like expect to be like 5 games at least under 500. I feel like y'all are not good.
Dude, we haven't had Maxey the last 3 games. That's the only reason we've been losing games. Like we should have won these games.
Drew, let me run this by you. The Knicks back-to-back in Madison Square Garden.
2L.
The Milwaukee Bucks in Pfizer Forum. Charlotte Hornets at home.
Okay, that's one.
Miami Heat. Phoenix Suns. LA Lakers, excuse me. Then the Clippers. Then the Sacramento Kings. Then the Clippers again.
God dang.
Then Cleveland on the road.
We beat Cleveland twice already. They're bad.
So you're not going to beat them again if we're just like expecting this to bounce out.
Yeah, I think we'll have the road back.
That's 10 losses.
That.
That's 10 losses though.
But you see what I'm saying? The Hawks are only 6 games back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Honestly, at best, y'all are going what was that? 11 games. At best, they'll go 3. At best, they'll go 3.
Y'all are ridiculous. You have to realize the back end of those games, Joel might be back.
No, I don't think not then, right?
They said the end of March.
This is where I ended would put y'all at March 29th, about the end of the month.
Yeah, so no.
That's where I stopped.
What do you mean no?
Isn't that when he's getting reevaluated? Like when he's starting to
That's when that was his date to come back, the end of March. Like the last week of March.
Date for someone to come back. It's usually like a range or like you're getting reevaluated this day.
He's already been
reevaluated into March. Let's keep it a bean.
He's been hurt before the All-Star break. We have to realize he's been hurt for a minute now.
Okay. But anyways, 3-8. That's like your best bet, 3-8.
You believe that? Okay, that's fine. People,
you got we lost. I'm just saying you have to think about what it means to the teams that you're playing. Those teams are also playing for playoff position too. The Cavs are going to be playing hard. I don't know what Donovan Mitchell will be back by then. He may be.
Should be.
Yeah, the Cavs will be playing hard. Obviously, everyone that you play in the West is going to be playing hard because they're all fighting for that position, trying to stay out of the play-in. Or
that's cool.
What do you mean that's cool? Your team sucks though,
dude. You keep saying that, but I think Maxey and Joel will be back for half of those.
Yeah, if you get Joel, you don't think that Joel's coming back for half those games.
Well, I think he should be back by like March, the last week of March 22nd.
Didn't Morgan just say he stopped at March 29th?
I did.
Yeah.
All right. So no. What are you saying? Hey, move on. Like
it's definitely major for him.
If we can get 3 wins without Joel, then I think with Joel we can get those last couple of games in.
You just went 3-8 though. It's not good.
Okay.
It's not good at all. I would keep it, but again, I'm gonna keep a close eye on it. I'm definitely gonna keep a close eye on it.
Stand there.
We took a lot of time. I'd say